Whether you're watching this on a Monday, on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or any other time of the week, even the weekend, early morning, late at night, this video could be for you. So this week I thought I would talk about what motivation means for me and what it could mean for you. So it'll be over a year ago now when we first started having these conversations, the ITT Future You and I, around how we could enthuse, motivate, inspire their audience and their members. Now, you've got to remember that within the members you have university students, college students, hospitality, travel, aviation. You've also got to remember that there are some people that have been well into their travel career for a few years, and some people who are very senior in their travel career too. So as I was out walking today, and you can hear I'm out, you can hear the planes going ahead, you can hear street sounds, but as I was out and about, I was really inspired to shoot this video based on a number of conversations I've had over the years with clients, and also with friends, with family, with people who are just really kind of under the cosh a little bit. They've got so many plates spinning and a lot on their plate. So I wanted to just discuss some really good ideas for self-motivation, because a lot of the time the myth behind being a coach and being somebody who helps people with their motivation, with their visibility and all of that kind of stuff, is that I do the work for them or that I do the work for you. And that's not necessarily always true. There needs to be some motivation on your part, or some desire to have things be different. So let's discuss today a few things you can do if you're really feeling like you're spinning plates, you've got too much on, you're under the cosh, you've got one of those really busy weeks and you feel like you haven't got time to breathe. So what is this motivation piece and why is it so important? For a lot of the time, you might be in charge of managing other people, you might be part of a leadership team or board level, or you might be studying really hard, trying to manage all the things that comes with a student life. And I know, having asked a few times, that for many of you who are studying is the thing that seems to, you want more ways to do it better, more tips on how it could work. And by the way, if you see the camera wobbling, although I'm using a stand, I'm in the great outdoors, hat on, earphones on, and coat on as well. But I really thought it was important to share some of these thoughts for ways for you to motivate yourself. Now, I'm sat in London in this kind of garden, and as you can see just above my head there's a little bit of construction going on. There's some scaffolding, and I think this is a really perfect metaphor for what we're talking about, because even if everything at one point seemed like it was flowing and perfect and lovely and just where you wanted it, sometimes, I'm going to hold this so it doesn't fall over, sometimes things can change. Things can change for whatever reason, outside forces, commitments, energy levels. So today I want to talk about a whole plethora of things that you can look at yourself, and almost like I'm giving you a list of ingredients to put your own ingredients together to make your own motivational cake, so to speak. So the first thing that I come across is in this world of busyness, and sometimes we've just, in travel at the time of recording this, we've just hit peaks. Peaks is a busier time, and for many of you, you've been rushed off your feet. For some of you might not have been as busy as you expected to, and that might cause concern, worry, even stress. So one of the things which is a common denominator in a lot of people that I speak to is, how's your sleep? First thing, how's your sleep? Are you sleeping for long enough? Are you in a regular pattern of sleep, or do you just stay up really late working till the early hours, burning the candle at both ends, only to get up again extra early to fit more time into the day? Remember, you're a human being, not a human doing. So one of the things that I would advise you to do is look at your sleep. Now, around this, I have very many conversations, and I'm not even a sleep expert, around, are you getting regular enough sleep? Are you setting up the place and the space where you sleep for successful sleep? That is, do you have your computer in the room? Do you have a TV in your room? Do you have your phone in the room? This can make a lot of difference to how you sleep. So there's lots of research out there that you can have a look at, but do check your sleep. Are you sleeping enough? Are you sleeping consistently where you can? And for many of you, especially if you're working through different time zones, you'll be used to switching your time zones. There are ways that you can do that too, even if you're traveling a lot. The next thing is good old-fashioned water. You will know that the human body is made up of a high percentage of water. So if you're not drinking enough water, and I'm not talking about teas and coffees, but just like water, if you're not drinking enough water, what you'll start to find is you will feel a bit brain foggy, a bit sluggish. Sometimes your memory recall might not be so great. And as for how we digest our food and everything else, our body needs water. So make sure that you are making a concerted effort to at least consciously drink some water. A glass, even if it's a glass of water if you're not used to drinking water. And it's funny because many of the conversations over the years, people say, oh, but I don't like drinking water, it's really boring or it's very plain. I remember having a client once who's really great at all of the health stuff. And some of the suggestions that she used to make were things like, well, you could flavour the water, you could put lemon in it, you could put fruit in it, you could put cucumber in it, oranges, anything like that, just to help you enjoy it. Maybe make a jug of it that you drink throughout the day, especially if you're at a desk or working from home. The other thing that I know personally for me is one that comes up. I know for many of you in travel it does, because you love travel, is light, as in sunlight. So many people love sunlight. They love that vitamin D on their skin. They love that experience of going to somewhere which is maybe of a warmer climate than the one that they're used to. So one way you can do this, and this actually does kind of speak to the motivation and self-motivation. You know, I'm in London in January at the time of recording this video. It's cold, that's why I've got the hat on. It's not a fashion statement. But one of the things that I found is, as soon as it starts to get lighter in January, rather than leaving a walk or a run or going outside until the end of the day where inevitably it's already started getting dark, one of the first things that you can do is just get up and get out in the morning, even if it's just a 5 or 10 minute walk. I have friends that walk for up to an hour. I know people who are training for marathons, so they'll go out for a couple of hours. But even though the sun might not be shining, just getting that light on your skin is going to help to lift your mood. And for many of you who really don't like the long dark mornings and the early dark evenings, one of the things you can do as you're going for just a 5 or 10 minute walk if you're very busy is something that I remember hearing about from a lady called Virginia Satir, who was a psychotherapist from many years ago, very esteemed psychotherapist and very successful at what she did, is to look up. If you feel a bit blue or a bit down, and I'm not talking about anything where you need to go and see a doctor or seek medical advice, but if you're feeling a bit blue or a bit down, as you walk around, count the rooftops. And by that I mean walk around but also look upwards. You'll notice a difference in your mood. In fact, I'd like you to try it and then come back and comment underneath this video and let us know like what you felt, how you felt was different. So as part of that exercise, moving the body, because one of the things I've known, and I actually found this out through speaker coaching people, is that when we get nervous about stuff, we become very stoic, very closed. You know, we hardly move. I'm trying to do this on camera, which I know looks weird, but we hardly move. But when we can move our body, not just our feet or our legs or our arms, but just move on, you know, move around and move our body, it releases and stops that ability for us to be able to draw ourselves in, be very stoic and not engage with the world around us. So the pure, you know, fact of just having a walk around if you can, or having some sort of movement will help. I know of people that have Pelotons, or all other brands of course are recognised, or running machines or walking machines in their house. And it'd be good if you could power up your house with a walking or running machine. But that's just a thought. So get some exercise, get some time to move your body. You know, if you're in a big city like the one I live in, maybe you might get off a stop before you need to because you can walk for the rest of the way. Maybe you'll take the long route round just to get in a few extra steps. You know, maybe there's an app on your phone that you can monitor how many steps you take a day with Pure Aim, just to start off and see like how much do you move, how much do you move around, how much do you exercise, and then you can kind of like work from there. The other thing, which is going to sound strange when it comes to motivation, is decision, or more accurately, indecision. So many people think, I want to do this thing, I want to do this thing, but I can't decide. So if you are constantly making decisions for work, for your life, and for family, friends, health, all those sorts of things, one of the things you might like to try in order to help you to make a decision is to look at what you put up with, what you tolerate with. And even sometimes these things, when I ask people this, and ask myself this, the things that we don't even say out loud. Maybe you're like, I remember I was sick and tired of starting to gain a bit of weight in places that I didn't want to gain weight, yet I was not really doing anything about it. It was the being sick and tired of that made me think, right, okay, I need to do something different. That helps you to decide, well, what is that different thing for you to do? What's that different thing for you to be? So that's just as an example, but indecision is the thing that keeps us in the sticky ground. As a very good mentor of mine once said, 1 choice is no choice, 2 choices is a dilemma, 3 choices, now you've got options. So always look to create choices so that you can make a decision, and look at what you're tolerating as well, and the things that might be stopping you. That's just some of the things I wrote down, or some of the words I wrote down on my little sticky note as I was inspired to come out here. What else is there for you? The thing I want you to remember most is that you don't have to think, well, I should be further along by now. Comparing yourself to anybody else is actually what sometimes gets us in this headspace in the first place, gets us demotivated because we feel like we can't catch up. Or maybe you've been doing something for a long time, so the expectation of you is that, well, you should have had it all figured out by now. Well, as this scaffolding shows, on this quite new building, sometimes things need a bit of a facelift, a bit of a change, and it's okay. It's okay to wake up on a Wednesday morning and say to yourself, right, things are going to be different from now. It doesn't have to be at the beginning of the year. It doesn't have to be at the beginning of the month. It doesn't have to be, be at the beginning of the week. It can be any time of your choosing. But have a look at some of these things. Let me know which of those ones speak to you most. Which one are you maybe good at, and which one could you be even better at? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to follow the ITT Future You on wherever you consume your social media. And I know that they've got some more networking events coming up. Go to their website, have a look. All the links will be below, and hopefully I'll get to meet you at one or some of those. Bye for now.